Cool. And here we go. So, is it on? Yeah. Welcome everyone. This is Gaurav speaking, and I would be your host for the month of Garage edition for the month of August. And for this session or this round, we have picked up this very nice use case which tells about, how enterprises who have these complex business processes can find inefficiencies in those processes and then leverage SAP BTP services to take actions and transform those complex business processes into easy ones. Yeah. And for that, I have the experts with me who have created these missions, or I should say, the brains and hands behind this mission, who would be walking us, the benefits of these missions, the challenges they resolve by adopting these missions. So I have with me Jonas, who is the solution advisor from the SAP
Hi.
Signavio team. And I also have you, obviously, who have been making the garage pretty successful over the past years and months. So thank you for that. I really look forward, or we as a team really look forward to your continued support. So keep up the support that you have shown us, and also let us know which all use cases you would want to see in the future as well. Yeah. Before we move and I hand over to Jonas, I also wanted to highlight that as Garage is one of the virtual formats that we roll out for the participants out there, we also have some in-person enablement workshop opportunities that you can also explore. And for that, the easiest place would be to check out the SAP Discovery Center page. I will be sharing the links in the chat. And on the left, you would see the events section. So if you click down here, you would see the list of in-person workshops specifically for partners that we roll out. We have on the lines of Business Data Cloud, on the lines of Build Code, on the lines of Integration Suite, and then on the lines of Business AI. So if you are a partner who want to learn and multiply the knowledge with the ecosystem, please refer these links to register yourself or share with your peers. With that, I would hand over to Jonas and ask him to walk us through this nice use case. Thank you. Jonas,
Okay.
over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav. Hello, everyone. I will talk about process automation today and how Signavio and the SAP BTP can use support by that. I'm working as a solution advisor at SAP Signavio, but in the past I worked also a lot with the BTP. And when I joined Signavio, I thought about, okay, what are the possibilities to combine these two solutions? Because both are very powerful. They have a lot of functionalities and features. And where do I combine them in a useful way? We came up with some ideas. We are Annika Schlüter, Stefan Morio, and myself to create some missions in the SAP Discovery Center. One mission we explained in the beginning of the year, I think it was March, when Gaurav let us introduce it to you. It was the use case how to export data, process data from Signavio to the SAP Analytics Cloud. This was one use case. We also documented it in Discovery Center. In the meantime, we already created some new cases. And I want to introduce to you two use cases today, how to combine the topic enterprise automation with Signavio. Why is that? Because when you watch videos from the SAP TechEd, for example, or other big events from SAP, you maybe hear or see this phrase enterprise automation. And then you see these slides or these movies where SAP Build, the Integration Suite, and Signavio are combined. And I thought maybe I'll go a little bit deeper in this meeting to show you how actually you can use Signavio in combination with these two solutions to improve the topic of enterprise automation. When I talk today about Signavio, I'm talking about these two modules from Signavio. So I know Signavio is way stronger than only two modules, But I'm also aware that here in front of me are sitting BTP experts and people who are interested in BTP topics. So that's why I will focus on this thing, the BTP area, and not deep dive in every detail into Signavio, because I assume the BTP part is more interesting for you. But in the missions, of course, we have every step, and I will show you that very detailed explained. So the two solutions I will mention today are SAP Signavio Process Insights and Process Intelligence. A little bit to differentiate these two solutions. Process Insights is a solution to scan, for example, your SAP ECC, S/4HANA on-premise, CRM, these solutions, and to show you immediately your data and give you the option, okay, here you can improve by doing this. Here you can improve by doing that. Here is a possible error. So a scan and a recommendation plan. It's like going to the doctor. You have problems with walking maybe, and the doctor is scanning your knees and tells you there with the knee, there is a problem and you need to do this therapy and then you can run a marathon again. This is SAP Signavio Process Insights. But we are aware that you don't only have an SAP landscape. You have non-SAP applications, maybe self-development applications. You have cloud solutions. You have on-premise solutions, a mix out of that. In most of the cases when I talk with customers, they have a mix out of all the things I just described. So in this case, you can use process intelligence, which is a process mining tool. When I come to that, I will also give you a little introduction what process mining is doing so that you understand this use case in a better way. So stick with me and I will show you how to combine these two very interesting use cases. First one is SAP Signavio Process Insights. This one, I noticed, is very unfamiliar, unknown by partners, customers, and even some of my colleagues, believe it or not. And I will show you now how to combine SAP Build Process Automation with SAP Signavio Process Insights. How to find the guidelines when you go in the Discovery Center. I assume everyone here knows what that is. You go on missions, you simply type in Signavio and then here unlock process excellence with SAP Signavio Process Insights and SAP Build Process Automation. Here you will find every step which I describe right now. Maybe I go through a little bit fast or too fast for you. Maybe I skip here and there a step, but if you want to drill down and say, maybe this is interesting for us, I log in so that I can open it. I want to highlight the project board because I assumed, or we assumed when we created this mission, most of the people who are looking into that are aware of the BTP, how to use it, what's the BTP cockpit. Maybe they're administrators there or developers on the BTP. But we also assumed no one or a minority is aware of what Signavio is. So that's why we build everything in steps. So we build really small steps with pictures and text descriptions. As you can see here, step 1, open SAP Build Lobby. Step 2, go to store, and so on and so forth. So every small step we described in our missions, so to make it as easy as possible to follow them in your landscape, even if this meeting is a year past. Also, I want to highlight one thing in the missions. For all Signavio missions, we created a video. Like in this meeting where Jonas or Annika or Stefan is explaining something to you, we created on our YouTube channel, which is disclaimer, not official SAP content. It's we have fun at work and we have a break, so we create a video content. And here you see me doing this mission and explaining it in English. So if you just say, I want to see this mission again, then you can see here what I'm doing, how and why. So for every mission, we also created not only simple to follow steps, but also a video. But I created so much interest, maybe you want to see it in the live system. So here we go into SAP Signavio Process Insights. I assume that you already scanned your ECC in this case. Can also be CRM, TM, whatever. And what is Process Insights doing? It analyzes your process flows and tells you blockers, recommendations, maybe a Fury app you can use. My data in my demo environment is, of course, very bad to show you that there are a lot of Fury applications and innovations you may want to use. For today, I go into finance, but could also be any other area of where you want to improve. But I thought finance makes sense because most of the SAP customers and partners know SAP from the finance area. And based on your industry and interest, you have different other areas from SAP added on your finance core. So let's stick with finance in this case. We have 23 process flows analyzed, and based on the problems we may have, based on the real data, so it's not a stomach feeling, it's based on real data, we have correction recommendations and innovation recommendations. I want to describe the difference here. Let's stick with the picture I described at the beginning, with the problem of the knee, and you went to the doctor and had a scan. The correction recommendation would be, okay, please, my patient, take a painkiller that maybe helps you to sleep well for one day, something like that. But a correction recommendation is not a long-term strategy. You cannot take painkillers forever, right? So to describe it in a business language, what can be a correction recommendation? Here, for example, I have 172,000 open items, invoices, which need to be worked on. I said my data is very bad, of course. So in this case, I see now, okay, I need to remove maybe a blocker, to talk with the division and work on this problem. But even if I solved all of these recommendations, there is not a guarantee that this will not be happen in the next year because I didn't solve the reason why that happens. It's like the painkiller. You solved maybe the problem for a day, the pain is gone, but the reason why you have pain is not gone, right? This is where innovation recommendation is coming into the room. Here you have long-term options to improve your, for example, invoice process. And my demo is pretty simple. You go on process automation. So you filter for everything you can automate. And the clue is very easy. Here you see, for example, I picked a random one. You could be also pick something else. Business partner payment data change process. So in this case, SAP Signavio Process Insights tells me, okay, this is a topic which is related to 4 blockers in your SAP ECC on-premise system. So if you work on this, you can improve the data quality, you can improve the process time, the time you need. And what can I do now? Because normally the demonstration would end right here. What can I do with business partner payment data change process? How can I improve now? Okay, you tell me there's a problem and this is the description of the problem. I tell you now what to do. Simply copy this topic. Copy and paste it, and you paste it in SAP Build Process Automation. If you are not aware of this solution, it's a workflow and APR solution. So here you can build your own workflows, digitalize processes, and automate them, for example, with APR technology. But SAP Build offers a store with 637 different templates, projects, SDKs, different industries, different line of business, different topics. If you now go here and you paste simply the topic of the problem Signavio analyzed for you, you get a template for this topic. And this is, as simple as it sounds, a mission we created, which is pretty much not aware of a lot of people who are using Signavio and the BTP, that based on the problems you may have, you also can find a template to solve your problem. In this case, for example, a little architecture, how to do it. Here you have templates, set up APRs, data types, workflows, decisions, and based on this template, you can simply create a new SAP Build Process Automation project and improve your work. Is this a game changer? Or is a game changer is a big word, but is this really that helpful as I described it? Everyone who is watching this video or watching this call or is in this call and who developed an APR by himself knows that takes a while or a moment. It's not like 5 minutes and I'm done with that. You have to think about how do I do it, or where is the data coming from, and so on and so forth. And also setting up all these data types, the decisions, the formulas. This is everything, even with no code and low code, it simply takes time. And if you can grab a template from SAP, which helps you to reduce the time by, I don't know, 10, 20% maybe. Yeah, this is stomach feeling, 10, 15%, 20%. This is already helping you because then you simply need to connect the dots. So connect your SAP S/4HANA with these process automation solution and maybe the area where the information is coming from and go to your ECC S/4HANA, something like that. So I thought I demonstrate this very, very basic, very simple first mission to you, because if you have the luxury, the situation that you use Process Insights, be aware of that really helps you to improve when it comes to enterprise automation. So this is pretty much the first mission, very basic, very simple, but the point is the BTP Garage, it's not necessary that it's always super complex. The complex part comes after that you open the template and you create your individual case. But I thought it's hard to create for all of the, in this case, 62 different templates, a completely mission. So I made the hint on where to find the right template for you based on SAP Signavio innovations. The second case is a more advanced one. In this case, we're talking about enterprise automation with SAP Signavio Process Intelligence and SAP Build Process Automation. What are we aiming in this case? We want to use process intelligence, a process mining solution, to analyze a process. And based on the real data from the system, we want to trigger an automation so that in SAP Build Process Automation, something happens. I give you an example. Let's assume you analyze the process about your invoices, and the system finds blocked invoices. Every time you do the process mining, so analyze the end-to-end process where the invoices are going through your company, SAP, non-SAP solutions, cloud, on-premise solution, doesn't matter. It goes through, and then you find 121 blocked invoices which are older than 90 days. Is that an issue you want to have be gone always? Yes, because if you have a long time blocked invoices, you lose the benefit of using Sconto. Sconto is when you can take 2-3% of the invoice price. So these are like saved costs. And if you wait for too long, you cannot do that with your supplier. So it's highly recommended to solve blocked invoices fast. And this use case here helps you to address this topic. And I focus now on how to do so. Before I show you that, I thought it's helpful to tell you what process mining is so that you can understand it when I'm talking about this. Process mining, for everyone who's not aware, very simple, very basic, explained. You have processes which are going through different divisions, different line of businesses in your company. For example, the topic of an invoice. It starts somewhere in procurement where you buy stuff for your company, can be material you want to use to manufacture something, can be a new headphone there so that Jonas can work in the office or from home. So there the invoice starts and goes through finance, and at one point you give your supplier money. So for example, this is a whole process. To analyze this, you need data. The minimum set of data you need for process mining is event name, case ID, and timestamp. For everyone who is not aware of what I mean, the timestamp describes when does something starts and ends. Creating the invoice has a special start moment and a finish moment until you filled everything in or you uploaded it, for example. The event name can be create sales order, delete sales order, change sales order, one event with a real name so that you can connect the timestamp with an activity. And a case ID. Case ID means you need to make this event individual. For example, create invoice number 1, number 2, number 3, and until you get it, I think. You can, of course, enrich. This is the minimum, the basic minimum you need for process mining. You can always enrich your data. For example, region. Maybe your company is working in different countries or different regions. Maybe you have different locations in one country, and you want to compare the manufacturing in North Germany and in the company in South Germany. So this is then an attribute you want to add so that you can see, are the invoice processes in North and South same, or is one company especially good and one especially bad, so that you can focus on the very slow one, for example. So to make it more visible for you, this is maybe a little bit old, but a user interface where you see create purchase order. Then you have here the individual ID. So create purchase order is the event. You have here a timestamp, and somewhere, maybe on-premise, maybe in the cloud, the data is stored. And you need, for every event, create purchase order item, release purchase order item, this 3 data, maybe more for process mining. When you have, for every event, the data in the right area, so from beginning to the end, every process has a start and an end, then you can analyze this, and now we are talking about process mining. And some of our customers are doing this, for example, the sales process, every month, or every 2-3 months, they get the data fresh from the system to compare, okay, what has changed from the last time when we compared it? Are we faster, slower? Is there somewhere a problem maybe? And now I want to show you how you can benefit out of this data collection thing, the data analyzing thing, to make real actions out of this. For that, now I go into SAP Signavio Process Intelligence. In this case, I have here all the process I have analyzed. I don't want to go deep into the process mining in case of what widgets and dashboards I have here. And let's assume I have a finance process, and now every time when I have blocked invoices, I want to have them sent to the financial division, to the persons who are working in accounting. And I want to have this every time when I collect the data so that they have on the table the blocked invoices, so they solve them immediately, if possible, so that we collect Sconto. By the way, not collecting Sconto is a very common issue, or a very common thing I see when we analyze the process from partners and customers. So it's nothing where you can say, okay, this is nothing I never had in my past. It's very small thing maybe, but if you have a large company, it affects hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of euros. Okay, but from the story back to the reality. Maybe I need to log in again. Sorry for that. Give me a second. So, okay, Jonas, now the password. I was too long offline. And make sure that I also have the BTP open to show you that. One second, please. I will be with you in a second. I talked too long, sorry. Okay, we are back on track. Everything is open. Alrighty. So let's assume we have this process and we have the data already set up. Then I can create so-called actions. Actions are the possibility to take a special information and trigger, for example, SAP Integration Suite or SAP Build Process Automation or Microsoft Teams, send a notification out or sending a webhook. So, for example, if you use non-SAP technology regarding workflows, APRs, or notification systems, something like that, you can also use that. How to set it up? That's very easy. I go here on configurations, and you see here I have set up one integration with SAP Build Process Automation. I will go into it and show you that it's not that hard. I also described it in the mission in detail. You need two things: the BTP service key, JSON, and an API key. I now show you where to get them, but you also find this information in the mission. First one is here in your BTP cockpit. I assume most of you know what this is. Yeah, you find the credentials for the JSON. And then you need the API key, which you find in the SAP Build lobby. Here in the control tower, you can have here the API keys. And in the mission, it's also described what to do to generate the API key. So which button you have to click, because when you create an API key, make sure you save it, because it will be only shown once. Otherwise, you need to create the API key again. So in this case, this one here is the API key I created for the presentation of today. You see here, it can execute and read a trigger. Now I show you, I put this away. I have this Microsoft Teams bar here. I show you what I created in the SAP Build lobby. Here I have a process, and it's very simple. Of course, you can advance my use case way larger and more complex, okay? In SAP Build Process Automation, I have here one very small, simple process, which is only a trigger and a formula, but it's should working in our demo right now. So here I have an API trigger and I have a form. So the API trigger only collects one information. What is the information? I can also show you that. Not a secret or something special. It is when I open the action here. It is the number of the invoice blocked, so the ID of the blocked invoices. Also, I can use what kind of task should be result in the case, and I pick the right trigger. Where do I describe my case or the thing which happens when I collect the data from process mining? here. I can use the attributes, which are available based on the data I'm collecting in process mining. And I can, in this case, I collect the informations for the action invoice blocked, company code, and planned. For our use case, it makes sense to send the accounting guys the ID of the invoices blocked. The company code and the plan, they cannot do something with this information, so I thought this makes sense. And every time we run now the process mining solution, every time invoices are blocked, if they have this status, then case ID will be sent to my process, to my SAP Build Process Automation solution. Yeah, so this is the setup, and you can change or switch between data load or special time period. I, for myself, have now a data load because I can now trigger it manually, and I want to show you live in the system. Keep fingers crossed that this is working today, but it worked in the morning, so hopefully today now also. And what will it do? It will pretty much do this in process automation. It will send the information to the trigger, and then in this form, I have wrote down a very simple short form, which has only one information ID, and here the number will be filled in. This is the whole use case. Of course, normally you want to take this information and add, for example, the system where it's storage, or you want to do something with the information. You can add APRs, other systems with actions, and so on and so forth. But for my use case, I thought I only give you the vision. Can I do something out of process mining? So I mine, I do something immediately. And here we see now the inbox. I updated it, refresh it. It's empty. Okay, and now we run our data mining process. So run now. Okay, it's running. Now I switch back to my inbox. And I have the first invoices in the inbox. Of course, as you know, you can pick the inbox and, for example, deploy it in the SAP Build Work Zone, Standard or Advanced Edition. You can also put it in other applications if you like so. But for our case, it's not important where the inbox is. Most important is that I have 21 invoices or invoice reports in the inbox, and I have the numbers which are coming from the process mining tool. So not only analyzing data, but out of the analyzing, I can immediately do some actions. Is this helpful? Does it bring value on the table? I would say yes, if you use process mining on a regular base. If you say, I only want to know where I'm standing, how fast am I or slow am I in a special process? I will do now one process mining project and then it will go away. Then you don't need to focus on actions. Actions are interesting if you want to work on a regular base, monthly, every quarter, something like that with process mining data. And then you can collect this information and use them to do actually something with them instead only on analyzing them and then think about that. So this helps you, and this is a very simple, short use case. It's not that hard to set it up. You saw what to do. It's only connect SAP Build Process Automation, then start the project, configure the workflow and the APR maybe, and then every time you run it, you can have a result out of your process mining solution. I want to show you also this mission in the Discovery Center. So here, when I go on Signavio, integrate Signavio Process Intelligence with SAP Build Process Automation. Of course, again, we have a video so that you can follow all the steps in the right order. So in this case, you see at the beginning, I put it on highest solution. You see here the result at the end. And then we start from 0. So actions, nothing is here. We set up the new integration, and there you see how we go through the BTP cockpit, how to connect all the ingredients, the informations you need, how to set up your process in process automation. And at the end, after we are done, you see the result, as I just presented to you, that the blocked invoices are coming in. So even if I jump maybe a little bit between the systems and in the way also explained what every solution is doing by its own, you can use this video and follow it again. And as I described in the other project, of course, we did again the same thing in the description. So every step is a minimum step, a micro step. We made everything with pictures, easy understandable descriptions, where to go, what to do, to go through this mission. This is pretty much it. And yeah, these are the two missions. And I thought I give you this little introduction into SAP Enterprise Automation. So from now on, when you see TechEd videos or other presentations and you see Signavio and process automation solutions, these are two possible use cases. I didn't present to you the integration use cases. They are way more advanced and complex one, of course, but these are like the easiest fast setup use cases to integrate SAP Build Process Automation with Signavio, so that you have a little improvement, or that you have a chance to improve the topic of process automation. Yeah, so that's it from the discovery mission part of my side. If you have any questions, I will check the chat now and have a view. Oh, there's something. Hi, I'm assistant. You can post your questions. Using the involve example, does the tool have the ability to identify specific root cause data issues? Make suggestions on how to resolve the problem. In this case, the blocked invoices. This question can be applied to many other business processes. One, yes. SAP Signavio Process Intelligence has a functionality called root cause analysis, and this helps you to identify the reasons why you need a period of time. A period of time, maybe I can describe a little bit more what I mean by that. Here in this solution, you see, for example, that I need for this workflow purchase order item creating to FE clearing 13.9 days. So this is the period of time I need normally to solve this. And now you are interested in how to improve that. So in Insights, you're analyzing your, for example, SAP ECC. You have so-called blockers, which are the potential reason why you need 13 days and not 1. And if you're using process mining, then you have the feature so-called root cause analysis to make it more visible. What is the reason? Where is the biggest gap, or where you have to tackle to improve your process? Yes. Sorry. Could I set up a similar Signavio automation without the Build app? Yes, sir. You can use a so-called webhook. So if you're using other automation technology from other vendors, you can use the pretty much same, what's the right word? The same approach, and set up this with other APR or workflow solutions. That is possible. Then you need to pick not SAP Build Process Automation, then you need to pick webhook. The configuration is a little bit different, but from a technical perspective, yes, sir, it's definitely possible. How it all connects to Linux, there is correlation to it. Question. In this case, I don't have Linux in my use case. Linux can be, of course, integrated with SAP Signavio, but it's more for the process manager solution. If you give me a second, I prove my or underline my point here. Give me a second, I pick another workspace and show what I mean. But yes, you can integrate seamlessly SAP Linux with Signavio to have your BPMN models enriched, not only by making the process visible, but also making the enterprise architecture visible by sending informations from Linux to Signavio. Setting up this integration is pretty straightforward. Simply Google the topic integration Linux Signavio. You need to be admin in both workspaces, or you need to sit in the same room, best case, and then you can set it up in some minutes. It's really straightforward. I'm looking for a good example where you see the integration of both solutions. Give me a moment. Maybe here. And I will share it, of course, with you in a second. Here's a good example. Okay, so different topic, but we have some minutes, so why not? This is process collaboration from Signavio. Here it's a kind of starting point for if you want to have a look into your modeled processes. And in this case, we have the process mining solutions and Linux combined on one slide, on one BPMN model. In this case, this one here, the ACME ERP. When I click on that, the informations here are not maintained in Signavio. In this case, they are maintained in Linux. And in this case, in this scenario, Linux is providing information to Signavio so that you can, if you model, you can use the software you're actually using in your real enterprise architecture. So if you like, you can also jump then into the fact sheet of Linux. And so you can connect SAP Signavio with SAP Linux. I think this is answering the question. I assume this mission is associated with on-premise SAP systems environments. So is there any specific configuration to be handled in SAP Build Process Automation for authorizing, if any, are needed to perform these actions? The second mission I presented to you, process intelligence with SAP Build Process Automation, it's not focusing on on-premise solutions. So this can be an SAP, non-SAP solution. This can be a cloud or on-premise solution. I took a random process. In this case, it was, yes, from an on-premise SAP solution, but you can also take from another vendor if you get access to the backend data and you collect the records, as I showed to you, case ID, event name, timestamp, and bring them in the right order, then you can do this whole thing with a completely different system. Any specific configuration to be handled in Build Process Automation for authorization? Let me think about that. So far, I would answer with no. You need the JSON and the API key if you connect it with Signavio, because the data from your system, let's say system, because so to make sure it's not an on-premise SAP focusing product, the data you're collecting are already in Signavio, and then you give this information to SAP Build Process Automation. So there's no need to configure SAP Build Process Automation to get access to the solution where the data is coming from, because you already have them in Signavio and you have a connection with Signavio. That's the situation. So I would answer your question with a no. It's not necessary until you want to write informations from SAP Build directly into the system back, then maybe. But if this is not the case, then the answer is no, sir. Yes, good. Let me check if I see some other questions. Otherwise, feel free to check out the Discovery Center missions, check out the videos. They are free, accessible for you, your colleagues, your friends, whoever likes. Also, yeah, from time to time write down blog posts in the community about Signavio and interesting topics about Signavio. And I'm working on a new mission. I can maybe tell some words about that. How to create a BPMN model, something I just showed to you, out of your voice and or text, and then bring it to SAP Build Process Automation. And this is something I'm working on with a colleague. So maybe we will see again one day in the BTP Garage when I present this use case. But until then, I wish you all a very nice evening. If it's late at the day for you today, I will finish now the call and give it back to you, Gaurav. Thank you very much for having me today. Thank you everyone for your time and for attending for today. I hope you liked the food for thoughts or the maybe different approach I choose in creating discovery missions. Yeah, and maybe we see you on an SAP event one day. That's it.
Jonas, thanks. But there's, I think, one more question from
Oh.
Abdul. So yeah.
Can you maybe read it? I don't see it.
Sure. Uh, it says, I assume this mission is associated with on-premise SAP system environments.
So you can do it with SAP on-premises systems, but it's not especially addressing on-premise SAP systems. The first mission, yes, you can only use insights on SAP on-premise systems, yes, and private cloud systems, yes. The second mission with the action where we send the blocked invoices to process automation, this is addressing cloud, on-premise, SAP, and non-SAP systems.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, Jonas. And as Jonas mentioned, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And also thanks for your support. Keep that coming in. The recordings would be uploaded on our YouTube channel for SAP Garage playlist. So make sure to subscribe to that channel and also keep visiting it regularly. With that, thank you so much. And I wish you a good time ahead. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.